you're really not doing like as bad as you think. If you feel like you're fearful of doing something, whatever that is, it's just like go ahead and do it. You never know where it's going to lead you. In my last video, I was talking about feeling like I am going through somewhat of a midlife crisis. I'm 39, I'll be 40 in December, and I was like compelled to like share that video. I've dealt with a lot of changes this year, or one big change in particular, and that was being laid off from a job that I've been with for close to like 10 years. And my plans for the channel moving forward was kind of to document my journey, at least for the rest of the year, of what I'm doing to kind of change the space that I'm in. I have kind of been coming across like a running theme with the changes that I've been working on. Basically, just to go ahead and do it, whatever it is, and do it without fear. You know how people say like do it anyway, do it scared. I was laid off in February. I needed to take some time to like honestly like grieve that job, because I had been there for so long. No one wants to be laid off from their job. No one wants to be let go from their job. You're losing income. The first layoff was anticipated, but then the subsequent layoffs were not anticipated, and so I felt like salty about that. The first layoff, like half of my team was laid off. Like half of the team that I worked with was laid off. All of that workload and stuff was put on me and other team members that remained, and then we had another layoff and more team members were laid off. So then here's more work. I felt like I was being used basically to get this new company over the hurdle that they were trying to get over revenue wise. I can't go trying to like interview for jobs and being salty, because it's gonna come out, like it's gonna show. So I was like, I need some time to take off and like recalibrate. For a long time, I've been wanting to get into data analytics. I worked with data at my previous job, so I have a high level knowledge of data and analyzing data, but I am not skilled on the technical side as far as creating like dashboards, like Tableau, like creating visualizations through like Tableau, or doing query language, like the technical stuff. Because I had been working with data for so long, I was like, okay, well, that's kind of like the next step. That's where I could go. And so I decided to start taking a certification course. But in the certification course, I realized that I didn't enjoy it. Fast forward, it's coming up to summertime, and I was just talking with my husband, and I'm like, I feel like maybe trying to like find work when our girls are out for the summer may not be the best, because although my husband works remotely, that's just a lot to like trying to like juggle that, plus like having the kids home. I started actually applying for jobs in June, but my hope was, knowing like how the job market is that I won't actually start finding stuff until like after the girls are back in school and off of summer break, which is kind of what's happening now. But anyway, I'm kind of getting off topic. In the process of applying for jobs and things like that, I started to feel like I didn't have any like transferable skills where I could pivot into other industries. At the time where I made my last video, I even mentioned that like I don't feel like I have transferable skills, even though I actually do. I just needed some time to step away and like think about that. There was a job that I applied for that is in education, in ed tech specifically, and I got the interview for that job. And this job was on the operations side, with dealing with like process improvement and all that type of stuff, which I did at my previous job. It just wasn't the main function of my job. The fact that they considered me for that job as an operations analyst, that gave me a boost after having that experience and getting the interview in that position. I was like, okay, maybe I can move into something that's not, you know, technical. Like, I don't have to do data analytics because I obviously got an interview for this position of operation analyst in this field. I can go into operations in pretty much any business. Every business has an operations side. So I started looking more into it, and then I came across like project management. I was like, okay, I'm going to take a certificate in that course for a project management, like professional certificate. And so I'm going to do that, but I'm still going to apply to project management jobs. So that's what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks or so. Even though I am looking to myself and I'm looking at the requirements and stuff for some of these project management or project management associate or like coordinator, project coordinator positions. And I'm like, I don't necessarily have all of the skills required, but with me taking that certificate course and also using the skills that I have acquired at my previous jobs that are related to that, I feel like that can get me in the door some places. I had to step back actually and think about it today because I got myself like worked up and upset and in my head in relation to a job that I am really interested in and not receiving the feedback that I was expecting. And I just had to sit back and think about that because somebody contacted me about a job today and they were asking me, about the time lapse in, employment. And I was explaining to them, about being laid off and what I've been doing in the meantime. But I'm like, when I was talking about when I actually started applying for jobs, I'm like, I actually started applying for jobs in like June. We're almost in August. Most people, it takes 3 to 6 months. Some people I've been seeing that have not worked in like close to a year, have not found another position in close to a year. And I'm like, you just started applying for jobs in June and you've gotten several callbacks for jobs and you've had 2 interviews. So you're really not doing like as bad as you think. You're not going to get what you want like right away. But the fact that I am getting feedback is like, okay, this is good. And then doing what I need to do coupled with what I have planned moving forward, it's like it's gonna all come together. If you feel like you're fearful of doing something, whatever that is, it's just like go ahead and do it. You never know where it's gonna lead you. I decided to go ahead and pursue my master's degree. I'm actually starting in December, and that is another thing that I've been putting off for a very long time. I wanted to pursue getting my master's when I was around like, I would say like 30, 31. And the reason why I put it off is because at that time I wasn't sure of where I wanted my concentration, what I wanted my major to be for my master's, and also the investment, the cost of going back to school. I have a bachelor's in communications, journalism specifically, so it was just like, I'm not working in journalism, I'm not working in any marketing field. So what am I gonna take that will tie my communications degree to my master's is what my thinking was at that time. Now having like more insight, being older, and it's just like the time is gonna go anyway. It's gonna take me a year and a half to get my master's. That year and a half is gonna go by anyway, and it's something that I have wanted to do. I just was like too fearful And I say really fearful, not even being cautious, because my previous job did a great like tuition reimbursement program. So it wasn't even like being cautious, but like being fearful of like taking that leap. I'm like, I'm almost 40. I'm coming into the second half of my life. I need to do the things that I need to do to make sure that I'm secure, to make sure that my children are secure. I will be pursuing my master's in business administration in December, so I am extremely excited about that. I am someone who, because of past like life experiences, I tend to be more cautious, and sometimes I can get in my own way, and sometimes I can let my anxiety about things get in my way. So I'm just kind of curious, like, are you someone who is a little bit more cautious with, you know, how you move or the things that you want to move? Or are you the type of person who's like, I'm gonna do it and we're gonna see what happens, and the worst thing that I can do is fail? And I want to know, like, how has that fared for you on either side? Yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope that you've enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will be back with another video. And yeah.